Riveting content. Empowering your life. Welcome to the Sphere.
Too many pages.
What's up, Peas? What's up, y'all? You landed, that's right, on Startup Masters. What's good? It's your girl, Kalia Guillory, also known as KG. I am so glad you either made it back or this is your first time stopping through. Listen, if you are an entrepreneur or you're thinking about being an entrepreneur, Startup Masters is the place for you to be. You know why? Because we have guests that blaze the mic that sit between Gary and I every single Tuesday at the same time, dropping content, dope nuggets, and literally everything you need to know if you're considering or even if you've already started your business. So I am so glad that you stopped. Be sure to subscribe. And if you're already here, welcome back. What's going on? Thank you for the love, guys. Again, your girl KG. You can follow me on Facebook or Instagram at KOG Speaks. I'm having a good day, but I need to check in with my boy G. What's up?
What's goody, KG? And of course, what's goody to everyone out there in the digital space? We're here back again at Startup Masters. I am your co-host, Gary Lee, also known as G Hawkins. Of course, you can find me anywhere online, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. I might still have a MySpace out there at
Lord,
G
no.
Hawkins.
Lord, no.
That's G Hawkins with the Z. And of course, Facebook Live viewers, we want to say what's up to you. Remember, if you're on Facebook Live, feel free to hop into the chat, drop your questions. We're here live for the first 15 minutes of the show. We're more than happy to answer all your entrepreneurial questions as they're focused on the topic of the day. And we've always got a great show for you. So make sure you've got your pen and pad, like KG always says. You're ready to take those notes, whether they're analog or digital. Let's get it together because we're about to get you another Startup Master. So I'm excited. How you feeling?
Man, I'm going to tell you why I'm really, really excited.
Talk to me. What's up?
Because PA is in the building again.
PA is in the building,
PA is
man.
in the house.
Man, it's just PA is everywhere, man.
I mean, I'm telling you, PA know how to produce them. Gee.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, PA producer. Let me tell you
Shout
about
out to
this
Bun
fella.
B.
Let me tell you about this fella here. This dude, I met him during some community service, giving back to the community that we all grew up in.
Yeah, nice.
So we
nice.
know community involvement is a part of that DNA.
And that's the way it's supposed to be,
But
right?
something else, a lot of people might not know. They might know him just as, hey, he's an entrepreneur, but he wears many hats as being an entrepreneur. Motivational speaker. Dude's got a real estate development program, revitalization that we're going to talk about. I can't wait to dive into that one personally. I want to know about this $2.5 million deal. Boy from PAT.
Let's talk about it.
He is also knowledgeable in self-training knowledge for small business owners.
That's what's up.
Psychology.
We gotta
Like,
do it.
he will make sure you right up here to make sure you're right out in the business to make sure you're getting that together. I'm just excited. I think we need to go ahead and bring him in. So
Let's
without
do it.
further ado, owner, operator, CEO of all these multiple businesses, too many of them for me to list right now, Mr. Chris Senegal.
Chris.
What's going on, Chris?
What
Not
up?
much. I'm glad to be here.
Good
Thank you
stuff,
for the
man. Thanks for
invite.
joining
Yeah,
us, man.
I already know it's going to be good. I already
Let's go.
know.
Let's get it started.
Hype. This is a hype situation.
We only got 45 minutes. Let's
We
get
we
it
gonna
done.
hit it.
We
gonna
gonna
knock
get
out.
it. We gonna get it.
All right.
Yes,
let's go.
indeed. So here's what we like to do. And for those that are watching us right now, once again, make sure you drop some questions that you have for Chris, because we're going to dive deep. We like to go from the past, present, and future. We want to start from the beginning, from the conceptual stage. We want to then talk about where you're at now. And then, of course, we're going to move forward into the future and see where you're headed 10, 20, 30 years down, 50 years, 100 years down the road, that legacy. We want to talk about that. So let's rewind the tape. Let's bring it all the way. We're going to get a DJ in here to do some scratching for us. We're going to rewind that tape all the way back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Let's talk about where you were at, where you said, you know what? There's something magical about real estate development. What was going on in your mind? What was that needs assessment? What happened to bring you to the table to move forward with this?
Man, I'm going to start a little bit earlier than that.
Just do it.
So we can
Yeah,
Take it
talk
all
let's
the way
go.
back.
Take us on that journey.
Man.
So I was always the best worst kid, So growing up, middle school, Woodrow, I got kicked out of school in 7th grade, expelled for bringing alcohol to school, right? I was a straight A, gifted and talented student. made it through that, got back in the program.
The GATE program. I remember those.
You remember
so-
it?
Mhm.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
done brought me
yeah.
back, man. Woodrow.
At the age of 16, I became a dad. Right,
Life got real.
life got real. So
Real
I-
fast at 16.
I had to become mature, a lot earlier than most people did.
Yeah.
Working Friday nights when everybody else was out partying after the games, all that
Mhm.
kind of stuff. So I always knew that I had to do more to be able to get to where I wanted to in life. And so I originally thought that getting that 4-year degree or whatever I was going to go to college for was going to be the answer to that question. So I did that, got the full academic scholarship, went to college for 4 years, engineering, had a guaranteed job when I graduated. And I got out, and the first couple of months, I was like, man, I've been sold a dream. This
This ain't it.
this ain't it.
At all.
Salary,
Wolf tickets.
Okay.
salary, all that kind of stuff. 60 grand a year sounded like a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
At 22, bought a house, and I went to work every day, and I started looking at my coworkers and my boss, and they were like, been there 10 years longer than me, making 20 grand more than me or whatever. They weren't happy. They weren't happy at all. So I was like, there's something more. There's something more than this. And what I originally started doing was trying to trade stocks. So
Okay.
I was buying options and all that kind of stuff. This was like 2007, 2008.
Mm-hmm.
And the market was crazy.
It was very
Volatile.
crazy.
That was, especially in REITs.
Yeah.
Right.
It was trading
Exactly.
REITs. Whew.
That's where you're at?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was trying to do some of that, and I had a mentor. He actually had pulled all his money out of the market, and he was just sitting on the side. He was like, "Man, I'm gonna sit out for like 2 or 3 years." So I was like, "Oh, there goes that plan." No more mentor there. So then I decided to leave because my job had put me in Memphis, and I moved back to Houston because I wanted to be close to home. Worked for a different railroad company. I was working for the railroad. So when I got back here, I couldn't sell the house that I had in Memphis for the same reason, because of the market, right?
Negative equity, huh?
Yeah, negative equity. Yep, I bought at the peak, and then when that crash hit, I
Yeah.
couldn't do nothing with the house.
Just like the stock market. Same
Yep,
situation.
Exactly. So what I ended up having to do was hire a property manager to rent the property out. So I got down here and I'm working, and I'm realizing, man, that house up there, they rented it out for more than my mortgage. I'm not doing any of the work, and I'm making money every month. Light bulb went off.
Ha ha.
Exactly.
This is where I want to be. So that's how I got into real estate. Development didn't come till later. The first 8 or 9 years, I was buying rental property in Houston, flipping houses, and I did about 10 flips, and I had about 10 rentals, and I did that by leveraging other people in my circle. I had a turnkey contractor that kind of took me on as a mentor. As a mentee, and he walked me through the process of picking the right houses and all that kind of stuff. So I was very fortunate to have that. A lot of people try to go out and do it on their own and end up losing their tail. It's nothing like they say on TV. Believe me, the profits that they show, they leave so many things out, like your carrying costs. Like if you flip a house, certain standard mortgages that the buyer gets won't even finance it for like 3 months after it's flipped, because they want that 3 month, what they call seasoning, because they're trying to prevent flipping and all that kind of stuff. So all that kind of stuff just it grew me weary of that business. And since then, I've met people that have figured out loopholes, and they're doing it a lot better than I was. But eventually I decided, let me do something different. Let me find out where a lot of people aren't doing that can still have an impact in the community.
Yeah.
And so I realized there's community development groups in every major city. And what they do is they form these nonprofits in low-income areas, and their goal is to revitalize those areas. But what their real goal is to attract developers and investors to revitalize those areas, because they get the incentives, but they're just kind of like a pass-through entity. And what I noticed in several big cities is that nobody's really stepping up to the plate. So what's happening is all that money that they have to do something with it. So it goes to other projects outside of those communities, just so that the organizations can stay alive. So my goal was to get in there, start buying up land, and then try to start redeveloping in areas that our community needed redevelopment in.
I like
So
that.
let me ask you a question. Let me pause you right there, because there was a shift, right? And I heard that it was like, okay, this is what I was doing. We're flipping properties. We're understanding the nuances that are surrounding the real estate game as a whole, right? And then there was this, okay, well, let me do something for the community. What happened? What was that spark inside of you to say, you know what? I've got to find a way to give back through this thing that I've learned. What was that spark that happened?
I think for me, it's tied to my I guess internally. I always want to help other people, and I want to be able to be in a position to help other people prosper as well.
Gotcha.
And I felt like with flipping houses, it's something that it's kind of a selfish business. You can tell people how to do it, but if they don't have the capital,
Right.
if they don't have the time, then there's no real way for them to get involved. So one of my favorite books is Think and Grow Rich.
Sure.
And the premise in that book is to have a mastermind alliance of people around you. So I figured it was like trifold for me, because I could start developing something bigger, something that has less competition. And the team I built around me of experts in the industry were all people that worked for companies. So they worked for other big developers, but they had never had the opportunity to own anything themselves.
Got
So
it.
what I did was I leveraged their knowledge and ability, gave them a small percentage of ownership in the project versus trying to pay them out of pocket. And that's how I built the team around me. So now I'm helping other people around me. That's twofold. Thirdfold is I'm actually going to try to do something in our neighborhoods and revitalize.
The trifecta.
The trifecta.
The triple
Yeah.
win. Everybody wins.
Everybody getting
And
it.
everybody eats, and that's the way it should
Well,
be.
that's what it should be.
That's how it should. Shout out to Clayton Diggs. He says, good work, great stuff. What's up, Nah? What's up, Kareem on Facebook? We want to say thank y'all so much for tuning in. And please, if y'all got questions for Chris, hit him up, because this is
Ask
that
away.
moment. This is
Right.
that time. So please don't waste it. If you got real estate related questions, drop them in chat. We'll shout you out. We'll pose the question, see if we can get you an answer.
And we, go
No,
ahead.
it's all you. All you.
So you mentioned something that resonated with me, and I got it. And you said that you took people who work for other people. They never had anything on their own, and you partner with them. So what I hope you guys got out of that is it's not just real estate. That's any business,
Any business,
anything,
any
right?
business.
So talk about how, because at one point I'm guessing you said, "Peace out, corporate America. This I'm bigger and better than this." What did that conversation look like? How did you enroll people in your vision to get them to realize that it was a holistic vision? You know what I mean?
Where do I start with that one?
Because I feel like it's probably like an onion that needs to be peeled there. Because I think a lot of people realize that it just happens like that. There clearly was some relationship currency
Sure.
that
Right.
was a part of it.
Yeah, it's about it's all about relationships, really. It's about reaching out to people and being a salesman. And, you know, no matter what you do, you're selling something. You're selling yourself. You're selling an idea. You're selling a concept. And the number one rule in sales is, remember, WIIFM, like the radio station.
With them.
What's in it for me? So my goal was to get them to realize that you have an opportunity to take the same talents and the same things that you're already doing every day and reap a much greater return. And you don't have to put any money in. You know, it's just about your time.
Yeah.
And then once you put your time in, you know, the same thing that you're helping someone else bring to fruition, you can help bring to fruition for yourself. You'll have that on your resume, and then maybe we don't work together on the next project. Maybe you go off and do your own, you know. But now you have a basis on your resume that says, I worked on this project and it came to completion.
Totally.
yeah.
Totally. Because what you just said was there's enough pie for everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes as entrepreneurs, we get caught up where we don't want to collaborate or we don't want to co-create because we feel like, well, if I'm co-creating with him, clearly I can't have my own thing, but that's wrong. That's the wrong mindset. We got to remap that because
Yeah.
there's enough pie for everybody.
Yeah.
There is.
I can eat, you can eat, all of us can eat. And like you said, if you want to go and do your own thing,
Right. That's fine. I mean, that's more power to you.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people are taught that resources are finite.
Right,
And
and then-
that's the biggest problem. For
Yeah.
those that are watching right now, for those that are listening in your car, you're listening to this on SoundCloud or on Android, wherever you're at, resources are not finite. Resources are infinite. But you've got to, what you've heard at this table time and time again is the importance of surrounding yourself with a great team. And if you are the smartest person in the room, change rooms.
Right.
You need more smarter people in the room, people that are experts in the things that they do. Surround yourself with them. And hey, offer them a little equity. Make it a win-win-win for everybody, like Kristen said,
Right,
man.
right.
You don't need any money. You just need a little equity in the
Right.
project.
Talk
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. I mean, and another point to add to that, when you give somebody equity, that's performance-based payout, right? So when you just hire somebody, you hire a consultant, you pay them up front, they have their money. So
Yeah, what's
right.
They gonna treat your project like whatever.
Yeah, what motivates them to put everything into the project, but when they have pride of knowing I own a piece of this,
Yeah.
then they're more likely to work harder to get the job done. Yeah. And talk a little bit more
Good.
about the oh, I forgot, lost my train of thought. Talk a little bit more about the mindset that most people feel like you have to do things on your own. That's kind of engineered in us through the education system, because we're always taught, you know, you got
on it.
Yeah, you got to come up with your own idea.
Right.
You can't copy. You can't cheat. You can't collaborate with the student next to you. You know, and so we're bred to be these autonomous beings. When you look at everything else in nature, when you look at everything else in success, in the success world, people work as a team, and everybody contributes their own unique attributes to an equation, and that's how you get the end result that you're looking for.
Oh, totally.
Taught to be autonomous instead of working as a team.
Did y'all
Come
get
on,
that?
man.
I don't know if they got it. I don't know if
Yeah.
they got it. I don't know. I just say it one more time.
Yeah.
Make sure you got your pen and your pad. Write this one down, okay?
Taught to be
Right.
Tell us, drop us a comment. Tell us how did that hit you? What did that mean for you?
Right. Hey, it's okay to be a copycat as long as you're copying the right cat.
I like that. That's a
Right.
snippet right there.
Yeah.
Don't you steal it. I'm using it tomorrow.
Yeah. And that's something that I do. You know, you mentioned a little bit about business coaching, and I help people get the general premise of their business down, because in any business it's all the same. It's you got a product or a service, and you have a market you're trying to reach, right? And then you have to figure out the best way to get your product in front of your target audience. What a lot of people do is they'll go ask a successful car salesman how to build a house, right? So you have to copy the right cat. If you want to be successful in sewing, you want to go find the best sewer and knitter that's successful and get advice from them on the specifics of business. You don't
Right.
want to get all of your business advice from someone that's not unique to that's not familiar with the exact industry that you're working in.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Total sense. That's
Amazing.
another common denominator that
Mm-hmm.
the genius that sits in this chair. That's something that we get all over and over again from our guests, is that don't go out there asking your family members when your family members don't have the vision, or
Right.
they don't even know the first thing about what it is you're on a quest to do.
That is it's a sand pit trying to convince friends and family of what you're trying to do. And a lot of times you'll find that they're the biggest antagonists unwillingly, because they think they're giving you the best advice they can. And it's coming from a place of love, but it's coming from a place of comfort. And all they can do is tell you how to be safe.
Comfort's like quicksand.
Ooh,
Yes,
I'm proud to tell you.
it is.
It's like
proud of
quicksand.
that.
I mean, I'm
It
just
is.
saying.
Compass
I've
like
been through.
quicksand.
I've been
Yes.
through. I
Yeah.
feel Chris because I've been through.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's they catch on late, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta distance yourself from them on purpose, you know, and let them watch, and then let them come to you later and ask, you know, how did you do it?
Yep.
And then you then you can try to explain it to them. But trying to convince them, you waste so much energy trying to convince people. The energy should be focused on trying to reach your goal.
Yeah.
It
and what you're
is.
trying to do.
Love it.
Yeah.
You better repurpose that energy.
Just put those blinders on and just keep.
Yep.
And just stay focused
Just
in your
stay
zone,
focused.
baby.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Facebook Live, are y'all catching this? Nah,
Oh.
I see you commenting on the success leads clues. I see you. I see you commenting. Make sure, Facebook Live folks, make sure you hit the share button. We want to share this out. Get this out across the world. Let people know of the geniusness that sits at this table each and every week, especially right now through Facebook Live. It's easy. You hit the share button, share with friends, done. It's out there. It's out to the world, and more people are aware. And, of course, remember, we're going to shut things down right about now so we can continue this conversation, but that means you got to go over to iTunes. You got to go over to SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play Music, where we're going to have the full episode up later tonight. And what you want to do while you're there, especially if you're at iTunes, hit the subscribe button. While you're also there and you've subscribed, make sure you review us. Let us know how we're doing. Give us some insight. Hit those stars. Drop a little comment. That way we're aware, because iron sharpens iron, and we always want to get better and become more substantive for the things that you need. Once again, we always want to get you to share that out. And last but not least, if you love what we're doing, donate. This project's getting bigger and better each and every day, and we've got some
Yes.
big things coming down the pipe.
Yes.
So make sure you go over to the sphere.tv/donate. There's also a Patreon link that'll be up in this Facebook feed, so you'll be able to have that as well. And remember, you want more content, you know where to get it, right here on Startup Masters at the Sphere. We'll see you next. See you a little bit later, Facebook Live.
Peace.
So now let's dive into where you are today.
Okay.
Let's talk about the business and what things are happening right now in your sphere that you're in control of, that you're watching on a day-to-day operations. What's going on under your hat as of right now?
Right now, we are physically in the process of demolishing a block of property that I bought in 2013. It's right on Highway 59 and Liberty Road, so it's the first exit off of 59 once you pass over I-10 coming from downtown. Fifth Ward area, there's a lot of revitalization going on in there. So today, for instance, we're dealing with plans and permits, trying to get the block replatted so that we can fit the property, get the property footprint correct so we can build the houses.
Got it. Because it's going to, and correct me, keep me honest, townhomes, commercial property.
Right.
All that on this block of property
All that on
you
this block.
purchased back in 2013.
Yeah, back in 2013. Yeah.
So that's interesting. So talk to our viewers. Talk to us about how is as we look at this map, which is I'm so proud of you, man.
Man, that's
like,
big.
I'm so
That's
proud of you,
big, man.
So you bought this
Developer mindset.
in 2013 and sat on it for 4 years.
And that was the hardest
Yeah,
thing for me
I
to
can
do
only imagine.
because I was so used to like flipping houses and you sow a seed, you reap kind of quickly. With this, it was a long process, and I watched some of my other friends that were flipping houses get bigger and flipping houses and make more money, and I had money tied up in this, and money tied up in a project in Baton Rouge. I bought a bunch of property out there, but yeah, it was at that point in time there was no development going on in Fifth Ward, but I could kind of see the vision. Third Ward had just started, and the Heights was almost completely saturated already. In like 2000 is when that process started. So I figured eventually it's like the only quadrant around downtown that hadn't been redeveloped. So I figured it's kind of a safe bet that eventually something was going to happen.
Totally.
Long term.
Yeah,
That's a smart bet.
Long term invest. Now here's the crazy part. I got that property without spending a penny of my own money.
That's how you do it.
And we need
OPM.
to- and that's what we need to talk about.
Other people's money.
We got to
Yeah.
talk about that. So
Yeah.
y'all want to know? I know I want to know. How did you do it, Chris? Tell
Break the
us.
process
Okay,
down.
so I was actually focused on my Baton Rouge project. I got a whole bunch of property. I was buying around Southern to do something similar, but it was a lot of red tape, all that kind of stuff. And then one of my line brothers actually came up to me and he's like, "Man, I got a deal you may want to look at." And I'm like, "Okay, what is it? Let's go check it out." So he used to work for a company called Homevestors, and they're big into buying houses. We buy ugly houses.
Yeah, I've seen the
Yeah, I've seen the
signs.
signs.
So he was like a property manager for them, and one of their old tenants that he used to manage actually called him and was like, "Hey, I'm trying to move out of this property. Landlord's not taking care of it. I need to go somewhere else." Well, what he heard was landlord property, available. So we got together. We went to go talk to the guy, and sure enough, he had inherited the property from his dad, who owned like 22 blocks in Fifth Ward.
Wow.
And so this guy was like a real estate tycoon, and the son he was in his late 60s, but he was on drugs and he had bad company hanging all around him. So basically what I told him was, I said, "Hey, why don't you owner finance a property to me? Let me take the burden," because he had tenants there that weren't paying all that kind of stuff. Like, let me take the burden off of you. You won't miss any money because you'll still get payments every month. It'll be from me, and I'll deal with the headache. Right. So we negotiated that deal, $400,000, which at that time it was probably crazy because it wasn't worth $400,000. Probably worth like $250 at most for the whole block. It's an abandoned grocery store, the whole hamburger joint, like 4 or 5 houses on the block. But I knew that the equity would catch up eventually, and I had to get in early before other people started buying over there.
You had to hedge that bet.
Right.
Yep.
So I think it was 450 actually. So 450 was the negotiated price, and 10% down, right? So 45 grand down. So what I did was I went and found an investor, and I was like, "Here's what you do: you give me 75 grand. We'll close on the property. We'll clean it up a little bit. You'll stay in it, and then in 2 or 3 years, I can double your money, literally, because I knew that when the value went up, it would be easier for me to pay him out $150,000.
Yeah, you got the equity now.
Yeah, you got the equity. So that's what I did. So we closed on the property, and then I was trying to figure out how to keep the overhead low for the 3 years. And my property manager, she was my real estate agent too, she came up with the idea to do parolee housing because there was a couple of parolees already staying there. So these guys been in prison 20, 30 years for nonviolent offenses. Some of them are on house monitors. Some of them have jobs, some of them don't. So their family has to pay their rent every month. But in order to keep from going back to prison, they have to keep a place to live, right? So, and some of them, unfortunately, were sex offenders, so nobody would really take them at all. So what we did is we did single room occupancy for them. So $450 a month. We pay all the bills, but each house, if it's a 4-bedroom house, we're charging $450 per room. Even turn the living room into a bedroom. And they're transitioning from prison, so they don't need a lot. They all have trades. So some of them are electricians, some are carpenters. So anything breaks or goes wrong with the property, they fix it themselves. We just buy the supplies.
Smart.
So yeah, so we were able to pay the bills, pay the taxes on the property, and just carry it until now. As a matter of fact, we just relocated all of them like 2 weeks ago to different places.
Yeah, because it's time for
it's time. It's time.
You're moving on to another thing.
Right? Yeah. Moving on to something bigger.
So with all that, I know it hasn't been a cakewalk.
Oh no, not at all.
What were some of the biggest challenges you faced with this whole project thus far?
I think when we initially closed on the property, we found out most of the tenants weren't paying. We found out there was drug infestation, there was prostitution, and believe it or not, the person we bought the property from was the main cause of all of this stuff.
Well, the guy you said that was already on drugs.
Yeah, he was on drugs.
Yeah.
But
he built his own little empire.
Okay.
New Jack City.
Right.
Yeah,
Right
literally.
Literally.
So there's a grocery store there, and we were told that the grocery store tenant was paying $2,500 a month to, in rent to him. Come to find out, once we closed, she was giving him a $2,500 a month credit for him to buy liquor and food out of the store.
So she wasn't used to paying
She
rent.
wasn't. Yeah, she wasn't
Currency.
paying anything. Nothing. Most of the other people weren't paying. They just weren't paying. He was lenient to them. They were druggy friends and all that kind of stuff. The block literally had about 25 calls a week from the police department.
Wow.
So and that wasn't me really. That was I give all credit to my property management team. They took care of that and cleaned everything up slowly. That was huge. Another hurdle we had was about a month after we closed, the water got shut off on the entire block.
Wow.
So what happened was the city of Houston had known that the old owner was behind on the water bill, but they just let it ride. And not only this block, but he had like 20 other properties. So a total of 30 properties. So when they found out the property sold, they figured out whoever bought it has money.
Right. So
they enforced the lien that they put on the property and shut the water off on the entire block. So it was crazy. So luckily, I had title insurance when we closed. That's very important. The title policy basically says, we've checked the history of the property. No one owes any. The owner of the property that you're buying it from doesn't owe anyone, and there's no liens against the property that you don't know about. Well, the week we closed, which was after the title company had done all their research, is when the city filed that lien. So within that 1 week period, it kind of slipped through the cracks. Luckily, the title policy covered it because it was before they were closed.
Right.
So, but that could have been really scary. So we had to deal with the water company for 3 or 4 days. The guys didn't have any water. We were like carrying buckets from across the street, literally. So,
Man,
real
that's a
estate
trial.
101.
Yeah.
Trial
like
and tribulation,
you earned
man.
all this.
Yeah.
Yes. But that's what makes that makes
That's
a
what
great
makes it
story.
Mhm.
That's the recipe, the ingredients of success. Those trials and tribulations, going through those headaches. Because when it's a smooth sailing, you really don't learn anything. Like
Right.
I'm sure you learned so much just in that one process.
Man.
And now you can handle a multitude of things.
Yeah, I no longer look at a problem as something to worry about. I immediately go into, okay, how do I fix this?
What's the solution
Yeah.
here?
Exactly. Because something like that, there's no way out. Like, I can't just walk away from the property.
No.
Yeah.
We can't do that.
Not-
And so-
not-
Now
At
that
this
you done
point-
made the
Right.
deal of a lifetime.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. I got the investor on this side. I got this on that side. It's just like, you can't walk away. So you're stuck in it,
Yeah.
and you have to figure out, how do I get out?
Yeah.
And you persevere. You keep pushing until you find the way out. Yeah.
That's the way it's supposed to be, man. That's how it is.
Yeah.
That is how it is. So obviously, as you continue to move forward and you're continuing to find these deals, you're continuing to broker these transactions, you're making these relationships, which I heard earlier. Obviously, that relationship, I like when you do that relationship
it's serious.
currency.
It's real.
Yeah,
It's real.
yeah,
We got a
yeah.
hashtag.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
relationship currency. What is it about Chris Senegal? What is that X factor? What's that thing about you that when you walk into a room to broker this deal, everybody's like, you know what? What you saying is A-okay with me? Let's roll.
Let me give you 75 grand.
Easy.
Man,
What is
you know
it
what?
about you, man? What's that X factor?
It is the ability to learn people and read people quickly.
Okay.
It's all psychology. It's all sales. So you got to figure out the personality type of the other person in the room immediately. The second you walk in, watch their body language, watch how they talk, ask them questions, figure out what makes them tick. And when you do that, you know which way to direct the conversation.
I hear that.
Right. Yeah. So for some investors, say like when I was trying to get somebody to put the money in, some of them are just meticulous. They want to go through all the numbers and make sure the numbers work. Some people just want to feel like they know you and they're comfortable with you. Because I always tell people this, you can go through the numbers and you can have all that stuff lined up perfectly, which is the same thing you do for a business plan when you go get a loan from a bank. But 80% of new businesses still fail. So that means that 80%, the bank said, you have a great plan. You have dotted all the I's, you've crossed all the T's, and it still failed. Why? Because of the people, because of the execution. So the execution to me is a lot more important. The personalities of the people that are on your team are a lot more important than the actual numbers. But yeah, it's a psychological thing, I think. Being able to connect with people, because if you don't connect with them, it doesn't matter how good of an idea you have. If they don't believe in you, if you don't believe in yourself, and that doesn't push off on them, then you're wasting your time.
So if you guys are listening, like basically what Chris is saying to sum it up is the power of connection. It's the power to be able to connect with people one-on-one. Basically, out with IQ. Now, I'm not saying IQ isn't important, but it's in with EQ. What kind of emotional intelligence do you have?
That's
Can
exactly.
you read the room? Where are you meeting these people at? Because I know these viewers probably thinking, I want to know, like, where are you popping up? Are you doing meetup groups? Where are you going? For someone out there is thinking about mitigating a deal right now, and they have the slightest clue. Where do I go to bump elbows with someone who will invest in my startup?
You have to kind of get an invite into the entrepreneurial circle, the real estate investor circle, and a lot of them at one point in time were where we are, and I know I look for certain things in people. Like when someone asks me, I want to get started, the first thing I do is I'm gonna tell you to get 2 books, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and Think and Grow Rich.
Yep.
So if you come back,
Very good suggestion.
if you come back a month later and you're asking me questions and I ask you about those books and you haven't read them, that shows me you don't have the initiative, the drive to get in that circle. So for me, I don't bring people into that circle until I see that they have that ambition, that drive.
Yep. Show your worth.
Definitely. And another way I like to kind of make people see that is in our circles, most of our friends and family or employees, we work somewhere. Nothing wrong with that. That's great. And most of our friends and family are in that same circle.
Right.
But you got to realize on your way to work every day, you probably pass 500 businesses. And those people you don't really interact with because they all interact with each other.
Right.
And there's a reason for that because the conversation is different. The mindset is different. And so for me, it took the mindset shift first before I could even sit at the table with some of these people. And for me to understand how they think was a lot more important than anything. And all it takes is one. You just meet the right person that's willing to put you in front of other people.
Totally.
Yeah.
You need a connector.
Exactly. A sponsor.
A sponsor.
A sponsor, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, someone, because a mentor is one thing. A mentor is someone you go to and you ask them things and they give you advice and they guide you.
Yeah.
A sponsor is someone that kind of pushes you and puts you in front of people and vouches for you.
Yeah, totally.
So you want a connector that's a sponsor.
Yeah. And you know how I keep it straight, especially in corporate, is your mentor is someone you talk with, but your sponsor's talking about you.
Yes. There you go. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it exactly. That's it
Take
exactly.
that note right on down.
Yeah.
That was dope.
Yeah.
Dopeness.
But
So,
you know,
yeah, go ahead.
I really didn't answer the question directly. The money's always all around you, and we don't realize that. There's people that have professions that have money that don't have time to invest it, and they don't know what to invest it in, and they don't know where to start to invest, And so it's being able to speak in layman terms to them about a project and getting them to buy in and say, okay, this makes sense. Why leave this amount of money in the bank earning 2% interest?
If that.
If that.
Wait, where
keep it a
where
buck.
that's at,
Yeah.
Chris?
If.
Tell
Yeah.
me.
Right. If two.
Come on.
If two. When you can take a conservative amount and put it into a project where, you can't never say it's a guaranteed return, but it's a high probability that you're going to make a lot more money in that endeavor. And
The
worst
ROI
case,
is going to be much better there
exactly
than in the bank.
Exactly. So dealing with doctors, lawyers, people like that, usually that there's money set aside somewhere.
They got a lot of people with disposable income.
Right.
Mm.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's a lot easier than going through a bank to get money, especially for your first project. Yeah.
Makes sense. Makes good sense.
Right?
So where we're at now is the future, right? We've heard where you've come from. We see where you're at and the things that are going down right now. The construction that's literally happening right now. There's concrete being crushed as we speak, people.
It's crazy.
Liberty Road and 59, there's concrete being crushed.
Go
as we
check
speak.
it
This is
out. Go
going down.
cruise by.
But what is this gonna look like for Chris Senegal? What's gonna happen? What's gonna transpire in the next 5, 10, 20 years down the road? What do you envision?
I want to be in a position to do bigger developments on the same scale in the same neighborhoods and allow people from those neighborhoods to be able to move back into the neighborhoods and participate in the equity play that other demographics participate in.
Come on.
Right.
Speak on it.
Yeah. So let's talk about what's going to happen when these are built. They're going to be priced under $300,000. Which
Wait.
she put
Do
the
I need
brakes on
to
that.
do
She
I
put
need
the
to
brakes
write
on
you a
that.
check now? Let me
Right.
get some earnest
Yeah.
money and hold
Yeah.
my unit.
I'm gonna take it one step higher. It's gonna be under $300,000, and the first floor has its own bathroom, 2 bedrooms, and the wet bar we're offering a conversion to a kitchenette. So that means the entire first floor can be
You can
income.
rent that bad boy
Yes,
out.
you can rent it out. You can Airbnb it, whatever. So somebody that could really only afford a house that was like 140, 150 can now afford this house that's 250, 280, right? And so they're gonna, as the area continues to revitalize, they're gonna realize that equity appreciation, right? So most developers go and they try to get the max. Like I probably could sell them for 350 if I wanted to, but that's not the goal. The goal is to help us experience equity and build generational wealth through real estate.
Talk
Yeah.
about it.
Right.
Come on, Chris, you just gave me goosebumps.
That's where it's at.
yeah.
People don't understand that there was a reason why it was negotiated to be 40 acres and a mule. Those 40 acres matter.
Come on, Spike.
Land matters.
Mhm.
People do not understand the value of property and what it means for legacy, what it means for growth, what it means to have something that's tangible in nature, even though your money is illiquid, but tangible in nature that you can always leverage.
Right.
And
So powerful.
no, the genius here didn't say rich.
Mhm.
He said wealth.
Talk
Yes.
about it.
Two
There's a
totally
difference.
different things.
There's a
Completely,
difference.
Completely different things. I always say when your passive income exceeds your lifestyle, you have wealth.
Talk
Yeah.
about it.
Somebody can be rich. You can make $2 million a year and spend $2 million a year, and you're poor.
Mm-hmm.
Poor.
Poor
Bank
poor.
won't even touch you.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Man, one of the most powerful things I ever watched on TV was when Oprah interviewed Ray Romano, and at that time he was like the highest paid sitcom actor. He was making $7 million an episode, and she asked him, "What does it feel like to know every morning when you wake up, every decision you make is about how you feel and not how much it costs?" That's wealth. That's
Yeah.
wealth.
That's total wealth.
That's total
Yeah.
wealth.
yeah, and you're doing it from wherever you are.
Right. Yeah.
That's the
Listen.
life.
Yeah.
That's the life. And it sounds like you're providing that opportunity. At least your vision is to provide that opportunity for others.
Definitely.
And that's that selflessness that's so important from the entrepreneurial spirit that a lot of people don't have. They think
Yeah.
about what's in it for me
Mm-hmm.
instead of being able to say, you know what, I can take my knowledge, my power, my wisdom, and allow that to manicure situations around me to
Yeah.
make other things better, and everybody can eat.
Definitely. Yeah, I agree. I was in network marketing before. I was in Organo Gold, and I looked up to Holton
Come
Bugs.
on, OG.
And David and Manita. Even though I wasn't that successful in it, I learned so much about leveraging other people. And one of the most powerful quotes they have is, if you help enough other people get what they want, you get what you want.
Yep, very true.
Very
true. The power of persuasion.
Power of
Yeah.
persuasion.
You help
You before me.
Yes.
You before me,
Yes.
baby.
Yes.
And if
Such
as
a great read.
entrepreneurs, if we
Yes.
can
Come on.
get that, can you
Yes.
imagine how powerful we would
Come
be?
on.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unimaginable. And it happens in other cultures. And that's why I like Think and Grow Rich so much, because like you guys both said, you hear the same thing, the same laws, the same principles. And that's all Think and Grow Rich was about. He interviewed all of the most successful people in the world. Some of them came up from nothing. Someone inherited it and carried on those laws and principles. But it's just certain things you got to do. And one of them is definitely leveraging other people and making it a win-win for everybody in that situation.
Totally.
Yeah.
Speaking of win-win, what's your win-win? Meaning, what are you doing to make sure you stay in this mindset? To make sure that you are hitting on all cylinders. You stay in your juju. You are in your flow, as Oprah would call it. You are in your zone, as Shonda Rhimes would call it. Like, you are hitting. Like, what are you doing for self-care? Like, how do you keep those batteries recharged?
I'm actually a workaholic. So I really enjoy what I do so much. And I think I've kind of retrained my thought process so much that as long as I'm doing something and accomplishing a little bit more than I did the previous day, I'm content with that. I don't really try to focus on a specific goal, I guess. I just enjoy the process. And so for me, that's the enjoyment. Also, I want to make sure I'm helping other people. So I always make sure I have time to set aside to help somebody that's trying to start something that they have an idea and they want to get it off the ground.
Yeah.
So I feel like those things balance me out. And then my escape is art, so I paint.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my balance. Well, I'm forgetting one of the most important things. Making sure my mom and my son are taken care of is key to everything I do.
Yeah.
So I'll take care of
Legacy.
both.
That's the foundation right there.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's your why.
And that's definitely the why.
Yeah.
Definitely
I'm
the
building
why.
it for.
Yeah.
Gotta
Yeah.
have it. So you gotta have somebody in the wings
Yes.
that's able to take on what you've created and continue to let it flourish. Man.
Yes.
That's important.
Very much
It's
so.
important. And I ain't got no damn kids. I gotta get on the ball. Keep it a
Man,
buck.
it's like I'm at the age where it's like, dang, do I want to start over? He's 17,
Oh, he's grown.
Yeah.
You
Like-
well,
like
Yeah.
great.
pseudo grown.
He
He's
should be
pseudo.
he should be out there hitting that
need to be a
concrete.
Yeah.
Okay,
He needs
like,
to be
let
one
me
of them
follow
contractors.
you, Dad.
They
Right,
understand
yeah.
how this works.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
That's
man.
what I'm doing. I'm giving him exposure to everything. Let him make his own decisions on what he wants to do. Versus what we're taught, doctor, lawyer, engineer, teacher. All those things are great, but there's so much more to
But
the
if that
world.
doesn't
So-
fit,
Right, if that doesn't fit.
And then you
color
must have
outside.
quit.
Yeah.
Go outside those lines.
Yes.
little
yes.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Collaborate.
There you go.
It's not
Exactly.
just you.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
man, I tell you what, brother, it's been a pleasure to hear you talk. It's been a pleasure to hear your story. It's been a pleasure to just understand the journey that you've been on, man. And for me, it's all about what people have been through,
Right.
because that speaks about a person's character. For those who have had it easy versus those who have really put tried tribulations, you've had challenges in life that you had to overcome, and that's so important for those that are watching us right now. What are your challenges? What have you overcame? Hit us up. Startup Masters at thesphere.tv. Shoot us a quick email or hit us on social media at thesphere.tv. #Startup Masters. We want to know about your entrepreneurial endeavors because they're important, man. And from what I understand, you believe that you are the master of your fate, the captain of your soul.
Definitely.
So with that being said, let's take this journey backwards. Let's take away this new build out. Let's erase that deal that you made. Let's put those properties in Baton Rouge back into the hands of those who have it. The things you've done in PA, all the different flips that you've made all over the city of Houston. Let's pull all that up. Put those dollars back in other people's hands.
Right.
Take it back from your own, the interest you've made off that, the 30, 40, 50%, the 100% you've made. Let's pull it all back. We're going to keep you with the knowledge, but take away the journey. Let me slide you $1,000. How would you do it all over again, knowing what you know now? What changes would you make
Oh, with $1,000.
with
With a G.
$1,000?
You know what I would do? I would wholesale real estate.
Mm.
That's what I would do.
Talk about it.
You can buy a pre-foreclosure list for $300 to $500. All you do is craft a really nice letter, something that seems personal, and you send the letter out to everybody on that list. And eventually, you'll get a call back, and somebody will tell you the situation, and you can actually broker the deal. Or you find a house has equity. So someone that bought a house for $250, right? Maybe they owe $150 on it now, lost their job, about to lose the house. You help them save. You help save their credit by saying, "Hey, I will help you get out of this situation. I'll find a buyer for the house. I'm gonna make a profit off of it, but let's work through this together. You can save your credit. You'll have a little bit of money in your pocket to move on and start over." And a bunch of guys around me are doing that full time.
Is that like a short sale?
Well,
Or-
it could be a short sale.
Yeah.
But if the bank asset manager says I want 150 for it, sometimes you can get the 150 for it if it's got enough equity in it.
Yeah.
So really, it's not a short. It doesn't have to be.
It
a
has
short
to be a
sale.
short. Okay.
It doesn't have to be a short sale.
That's pretty smart.
So for instance, I go find an investor that'll buy it for 190. He's buying it with $60,000 equity in it.
Mm-hmm.
Now the owner may give them 15,000, right? So then you got the 150 that goes to the bank, and then you walk away with 25 to 30 grand after closing costs and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And all is thinking, coming up with an idea, putting a process in place, and literally growing rich.
Following the process.
And that's just one avenue. But like I said, there's other arenas that you can make the same type of money in.
Yeah.
My philosophy is, so my other two businesses, one is retail with hair extensions and all that kind of stuff. And the other one is railroad, transportation. So I try to focus on things where no matter how much people complain about them, they need them, and they're going to
So
pay for
always gonna
them.
be there.
Right. So women, they're going to get their hair done. You got to have a place to live.
Yeah.
And the U.S. economy is built on transportation. So with those three businesses, no matter which one goes down, no matter how the economy is, there's always going to be a way to make money there. So I think, like with the hair extensions, I opened a franchise. This kind of goes to you saying start from scratch and figure it out. And so another guy from Port Arthur, Corey Venison, and his wife.
Corey?
Yeah, Corey and Joy have Super Weave Express franchises.
I
And
had
so-
no idea.
Yeah, they have 5 of them. They're doing extremely
Sounds like it.
extremely well. And so, one of my friends, when I was focused on real estate, was like, "Hey, why don't we open this salon?" And I was like, "I don't want to do that. I don't know nothing about hair." But then he brought me. We sat down with Corey, and Corey showed me the numbers. I was like, "Wow, this makes
Okay,
a lot
I'm
of
doing
sense.
it.
I'm doing it." So long story short, the same principle, the same thing I'm talking about. We went to Shreveport, Louisiana, of all places, because that's the only place Corey would give us for the franchise. And we started marketing on the radio to try to get stylists, try to get the best team we could, putting experts around us because we know anything about hair, but you want to have stylists around you that know about hair.
Yep.
Right. And we had a manager trained by Corey and them. And long story short, we ended up having the highest grossing franchise. So
Nice.
there was 4 or 5 different franchises. And we were the highest grossing franchise just by implementing the same principles that we've been talking about.
It's about the process.
It's about the
You
process.
build your
Being
process. You
diligent
just
about
make
it.
it applicable.
That's
Right.
it.
Drop that process in.
That's
Let
it.
it do its thing.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
And surrounding yourself with people who've already been there.
Right.
Corey already went where you trying to go.
Exactly.
So you could just sit at his feet and just learn for days.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's dope. That's
what
dope.
it's
That's what it's
Oh,
supposed to
that's
be.
dope.
The dopeness.
Yeah.
The table of dopeness,
Yeah.
man.
All right.
The table of dopeness.
Yeah,
That's
it
how it's
is.
supposed to be.
Yeah.
Man, Chris, we definitely, once again, brother, it's been a pleasure to sit with you, man, to hear this knowledge, to be able to just get the energy and the vibes off of you. It's nothing but brilliance coming from you, brother, and it
Definitely.
feels good.
Yeah.
And it feels like you're in the right place.
Let me
man.
close out the salon story.
Sure.
I forgot to tell you this part. The manager that worked for me is now the owner.
Why not?
I gave it to her. I sold it to her, and I'm just like the hair distributor plug. But I helped her become a business owner.
Come on.
You know?
Your heart
That's
is,
dope.
is beaming with joy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, man. I enjoy this conversation. I really appreciate the invite.
Sure, definitely, man. And let the people know how they can reach you. If they have any questions, y'all got anything y'all want to get from Chris, let them know how they can reach out to you.
Of course, Facebook, Christopher Senegal. My page is public. You can find me there. Instagram @_investor. Take all the vowels out. So _INVSTR.
There it is.
And then I have a website, ChristopherSenegal.com. You can reach me there too. So
check out this man's bio.
there we go.
Get to know this man.
Yes.
Understand. Read the books he has on the page. And
There we
he
go.
let you know
Yeah.
what you put
Already.
your hands
There
on.
we go.
Free
right
of
there.
charge. You don't even have to reach out if you want to. Just,
Right.
just download the book.
Understand
get
what
the
you
information.
need to do. Man.
5 on them, right? It's 5
Right,
on the
it's 5 on
list.
there, yep.
Yep.
He already
Yeah.
gave you 2 of the 5.
Yeah.
Find out the rest on your own.
There you go.
KG, of course, where can they reach you at?
Good people, you can reach me on Instagram, Facebook at KOG Speaks. That's KOG Speaks on Facebook, Instagram, as well as LinkedIn. Don't forget about LinkedIn. Sometimes we sleep on LinkedIn. A lot of our customers are on LinkedIn, but we just don't know it.
You're right. That's true.
And of course, if you need to reach me online anywhere, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, at G Hawkins. That's G Hawkins with a Z. This has been another great episode of Startup Masters. We will see you all next time. Take care.
Peace.